against Crazy Pineapple and Bear over here. And they are actually keeping still in this brush over here. We see a cheeky level 1 all-in raid over here. Looks like that's not going to be the case, but Vera will have the liberty to just smack away with that whip of his, with that leash, and let's see if he's going to be able to just make sure that he out-harasses both Awe and God JJ down in this bomb lane.
I actually love that move from Awe and God JJ, camping in the brush to perhaps try to see if the iSG team walked the wrong way. If Vera or Crazy Pineapple decided to walk by River instead and face check into the brush, it would have meant summoner spells burn for either of them. So actually that's an interesting way that Taipei snipers are doing. They are trying to get a lead over their lane opponents. If you go in there, you force summoners. Considering how aggressive both players are, it will mean that they would have an advantage in terms of any engagement that happens subsequently.
Right, so let's talk about the direct matchup for the top lane. With this Renekton and Troll up in the top lane, this Trundle pick up in the top lane. So who do you think will have the upper edge, especially for the first few levels?
Well, in the first few levels, actually Zonda would definitely have the upper edge. Renekton's wave clear, and he is quite a lame bully in actually these periods of time. He can just stand within the quick wave and use his skill sets to damage you, and at the same time regenerate his health back. As you see, Wins down here looking to gank bottom lane.
Right, he wants to go in for that gank over there, but that's going to be that ward to spot him out. So Vera and Crazy Pie will be staying in the back lines, making sure that they don't get caught out of position over here. Meanwhile, Windowlicker up in the top lane, he will go back to get his first Spirit Stone pickup, and I think it's very vital for a jungle kill to have that as well, because it just gives so much regeneration when you go farm up this jungle creeps as well. It's quite vital for him to have that to sustain himself back up. Because the one problem with jungle kill is that you might not have enough sustain to really go through the jungling phase, but once you have that in your arsenal early on, you should be able to farm up quite comfortably.
In fact, the Spirit Stone items, they're really quite strong. Now, Windowlicker, he was known in the Legend circuits to be someone who actually goes for the Wriggles Lantern, but as of late, the Spirit Stone is just too good, so he just goes for a Spirit Stone. With the amount of increased regen that it gives you so much sustain in the jungle. There's very little argument as to why someone will go for Wriggles Lantern.
That's right, and Windowlicker just hanging around the area over here. We saw previously with God JJ as well as Crazy Pineapple taking a whole load of damage down this bomb lane. It's a very risky situation for this AD carries at this point of time. It does look like Crazy Pineapple is still pretty much doing okay for himself, but the small difference here is that he will still have that little bit of regeneration and a little bit of sustain coming in from the Doran's blade, whereas God JJ just blew all his pots. But at this point of time, he is still at a higher health level as compared to Crazy Pineapple, so let's see if they choose to go aggressive from then on.
So we actually see Oriel taking a slight CSV over his lane opponent Ziggs as Windowlicker comes in from the back.
Right, he's gonna go all in onto Oriel over there. He takes a huge amount of poke damage over there, but he will choose to use that health potion to heal himself back up, and using his passive as well, he should be able to somewhat stay in the lane longer just for a bit more. And that's the other problem for this jungle kill as well, which is you have a lot of utility on your own, and you have the slows, yes, you have the wave clears, yes, and you have of course the intervention, but you don't really have any form of hard CC to lock anyone down. But you compare that over to Wins, he pretty much just needs to use that damage to have that that assassination potential. So if we see Oriel, land one good body slam in, or even use the explosive cast at level 6, that's gonna be one dead lane over at the mid side.
Definitely indeed. So due to the lack of hard CC that Kill has, Oriel shows us little regard for the gang as he does for Valentine's Day, selecting Santa Gragas on the 14th of February. Really
wrong occasion, man.
Yeah, wrong occasion, Oriel.
It's not too bad, and I don't know, man. I heard somebody really talking about it, say that it's a bit deceptive for that Santa Gragas as well, because when you throw that sack out, it doesn't look as huge as the barrel. I think I saw it on Reddit just the other day, so see if that's going to be a visual problem for them. But I think iSG, Insidious Gaming, they should be quite familiar with this Gragas matchup as well, given the fact that Shinya loves to play the Gragas as well.
Yeah, I don't really know. I always find Gragas's the barrel projectile really deceiving. It's always like, I'm on the edge of it. Oh crap, I took a ton of damage from it.
It's really deceptive as well. So he will be able to spot out the pink ward that Wins previously placed down. He will be able to clear that out. And we might start to see iSG just roaming down to the bottom lane, but it does look like iSG, they will be starting work on this dragon in a very sneaky fashion as well. And I guess this is a very off-tempo dragon attempt for them, and Vera is going to join them as well. And it does look like Taipei Snipers, they might not be in the position as well, but Oriel's just right around the corner, level 6 as well. He does have the explosive cast, so iSG needs to be very careful about this. They are just juggling the dragon to help as well. And the explosive cast comes out. Not enough damage. Great smite coming down from Riddle. He just timed it well, and that communication, that shot call coming in from them, is gonna pay off as they take down the dragon. So that will, bring the CS lead to a slight advantage over here. 400 gold in the advantage of iSG over here. So they need to hang on to that, and they will be able to control Taipei Snipers from here.
7 minutes of the game and already I'm impressed by iSG's play. That was really intelligent by them. That was the bottom laner and jungle communicating really well, keeping tabs of where the opponent's wards was in. And the moment they realized that there was this clear path to dragon where there was no ward coverage, after Kill went in and cleared out the pink ward, they said, okay, let's go for it, and they picked up a dragon at 7 minutes for themselves.
Right, not only that, they also communicated the fact, the health of that dragon as well. Because the big threat when you have this blue side Gragas as well is that there's always that potential for him to go for that dragon steal because of that explosive cast. And with that, I think Windowlicker, he just knew exactly what was the health bar of dragon. He kept that control very well, and then he managed to just pick it up with the smite there. So great control coming in from there. As we have a slight pause, maybe a technical issue. Let's see what's going to be the situation over here. But let's just talk a little bit more about this teams over here, because the season just restarted. This is day number 3 for week 1 of GPL, and it does look like we will be back into action. So we'll be going back into action.
Back into the action it is. And for you, Chris, I actually have a poem for you since it's Valentine's Day. Poetic Lysine says in his champion spotlight, here, have a haiku.
How do you want me to respond to that? I have no idea how you want me to respond to that, man.
Come on, somebody read your
Oh my god, and some
lane.
action down in the bottom lane. Kali goes down to Awi, but that Ignite gets ticked onto him. God, JJ is in a world of trouble. Farah is just lashing down to him. Shinya joins to the frame with the rubber ducky. Not going to be able to pick up the kill. Bouncing Bone picks up the kill over there. Double kill goes down first, but great rotation coming down from Shinya over there. That's going to be 2 kills in the favor of iSG. They will be happy. They will extend their goal lead to a good close to 2,000 range here.
Amazing play coming there from Shia, knowing that the bottom lane was slightly overextended. And once again, it is this warding that I'm talking about. The jungler and support Vera and Windowlicker are communicating this so well. They know that the bottom river is not sufficiently warded. So they knew that this rotation could happen. So they knew that they could send Shinya to the bottom. And because of that, he picked up 2 kills for himself.
Right, and I think the other GPL teams will be watching this really closely as well, because I think for other regions, when it comes to researching about iSG Gaming, why am I saying? For iSG is that, they might not be extremely familiar with their playstyle just of yet, but now Shinya, he has demonstrated his power when he goes for those roams over when he's playing these games over here. He did that on Gragas, who had a very good performance on Wednesday. This time around, he's trying to replicate those results as well, as he spots out win at the Dragon Pit. Will we see actually some action going down? Vera gets caught out, way out of position over there. He is just gonna go down to God JJ over there. Not too sure what he was doing over there. He's just gonna go down. And Shinya, he's not going to be able to respond to that as well. And Crazy Pineapple, he might be caught out. We might see a dive come down from Wins over here as he is moving down to the bottom lane.
So a little bit careless down there from Vera, getting caught out as he was trying to establish the ward dominance that the ISG has shown so far this game. As we see God JJ wins and RWA trying to pick up this turret for himself after translating that kill.
I think that was a pretty good move by Shinya over there to just use that Mega Inferno Bomb to clear out the wave. And you have to remember that ultimate does 400% damage onto minions over there. So I think that was one of the perspective to why Ziggs is such a popular pick and why teams choose to pick him out. It's just because of that wave clear potential you have with the Mega Inferno Bomb. But it is a level, an early level Mega Inferno Bomb. So in that sense, Shinya will have to wait for it to come back up in the next minute. He has to play a little bit safer against O'Reilly just as of yet.
You know, Chris, earlier I was alluding as to how similar the team compositions of the ISG team was to what Rocket likes to play. In fact, now I'm actually just going to compare the two teams right now. I'm calling it right now. ISG, they are going to be the Rocket in the Southeast Asian region. They are going to be the breakout team that comes in and becomes a real title contender on their first try.
Okay, so what will TPS be then?
So what will TPS be? I would say that in this case they're kind of fanatic.
They will just be TPS, would you say?
No, or maybe they will just be TPS. Hey, that was a trick question. You can't be
that is a trick question over here. Okay, fine. So if you
okay, so even now I read you a terrible poem, and then you asked me a trick question.
Well, I guess that's gonna be how it is for now here. And Taipei Snipers, they are actually responding quite well to this early game misplays that they had earlier. So they bring back one kill for themselves, and then they are just farming up pretty well for themselves. Especially O'Reilly, he is far ahead in CS as compared to Shinya over here. As we see some action up in the top lane, Zonda will use that slice and dice to slice out of action, but the Pillar of Ice is just gonna slow him down with the charm as well. He will have to use the flash, but Window Licker picks up the kill with that Q charge, and despite the kill nerfs, still packs a punch. ISG is gonna pick up the kill up in top lane.
So I was earlier talking about how similar Rocket and ISG are. It's not so much that I'm saying that they are just going to be the breakout team. The way they've been playing so far in this game is so intelligent, is so reactive. They are counting their opponent's wards. They're looking at where the opponent's vision is and reacting accordingly. This is very, very similar to how Rocket has been playing those games. And look at where Rocket is now, 8-3 on top of the table in the EU LCS.
Right, we'll hope to see that come out of iSG Gaming as well, especially for new teams, as now Awe gets caught out of position. You actually got JJ will pop on the hunt, but Awe now is just going to be the world of hurt. He is not going to be escaping out of that one. Crazy Pineapple picks up the kill, and God JJ now takes a whole lot of damage out of the calling. BBTY will use that hammer to slam down onto him for that last bit of damage. So 2 more kills being secured on the end of ISG. But look out, O'Reilly is just right around the corner. He will be spotted out by that ward in the tri-brush. Does look like ISG is just gonna back off. Then they are happy with the kills. They will go back to cash in that goal, and now they are once again they are extending to the goal lead. 3k difference now. Dragon is now back live. ISG might be looking to contest for that objective soon.
So BBTY acknowledging the fact that his top lane opponent was dropped low and was actually dead and had to be back in the base. So he used that space and time that kill bought him to teleport bottom and pick up 2 more kills for his team.
Precisely, and great map movements coming up as well. But given the fact that there's so many members concentrated for ISG down in this track, it looks like they will do that change. And there you go now, once again, O'Reilly wanting to go for that steal over there, but Window Licker timing that smite to take it down once again, but Zonda will take top lane turret for in return. So 1 dragon for 1 turret. Not exactly the best trade for ISG over there, but they will take it because they just want to make sure that they keep the goal count in check.
I just love the way iSG is having control over those objectives. Although they might have traded Dragon for turret, I would say I'm still very impressed by the way they have boarded up over Dragon, and they have acknowledged that the fact that the AZUBU Taipei snipers are unable to contest it at all, other than the steal from Oreo possibly coming in. So they're going for the Dragon and they pick it up for themselves.
Right, look out, Shinya might be caught out over here. Zonda will use the stun to lock him down, and he just melted down in the mid lane. Great rotation coming in from TPS, and I have to say, ISG has to remember for the fact that Taipei snipers, they are very good with map control. So the moment they take out the top lane turret, they have them vision control. And look out now, TPS, this 3-man roaming squad down into the bottom lane. Crazy Pineapple will grab that lantern into safety. So TPS will not pick up the kill from there, but applying pressure all across the map. You cannot afford to give it up to TPS over there, so TPS will disengage. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, Windowlicker is just shoving down the mid lane turret and applying pressure down there as well. So we see the mid lane turret for TPS down to about a third of its HP. Oreo will be back in place now to defend that, and Shinya, he has that flexibility to try to move around there now, because there's not. He knows for the fact that the pressure is down onto TPS and not on his end.
So Taipei Sniper is saying that we were the finalists last season. Don't just count us out yet. Making some great rotations and picking off Shinya behind his own turret before rotating the ball in and trying to make some plays.
Oh, look how the solar flag comes out, and there we go. The Pillar of Ice will zone away Taipei snipers over there. So ISG choosing to go for the safer option, which I thought was the right decision over there. They don't necessarily want to pick a fight with Wins now, especially given the fact that he has finished up that spirit of Elder Lizard over there, and you know, just making sure that they trade turrets all around. So now they took 2 turrets for free, not much contest at all, and they will once again push that goalie up to 3k as Windowlicker now gets caught out over there, and the intervention gets popped onto him, but that's not gonna matter. So much damage coming in from TPS. God JJ will be the one to pick up the kill. 2 kills for him already. Has that Bloodthirster completed, and let's see if God JJ will be able to come through as the hard carry to, you know, bring the game back into Taipei Sniper's favor.
You know, as much as I am impressed with ISG's decision making, like the decision to push bottom lane and acknowledging the fact that Taipei Snipers would be rotating to bottom lane to deal with that situation and pushing and taking the mid lane turret in the state. Well, I'm very impressed with those decision makings, but yet at the same time, I think that they're starting to get a little cocky down here. Like, their rotations so far haven't exactly been the cleanest in terms of like Shinya and Windowlicker. Like, we saw that Windowlicker walked into his opponent's jungle without having sufficient wall coverage as a fight breaks out bottom lane.
That's right, Vera catching our way back and using the box to catch God JJ back into position as well. But look out, Wentz is right around the corner, jumps into the fray over there, does not have the damage to finish. Crazy Pineapple just off, yeah, Mega Inferno gonna come down. It's God JJ gonna go down. Looks like that's not the case. Away goes down, but God JJ will pick up the kill onto Vera over there. Crazy Pineapple wants to go back in for the revenge kill, but Wentz has that damage to assassinate him off. You don't want to mess around with the Kha'Zix over there. So with that, Taipei Snipers will bring the kill count into their favor. 2-1 advantage. Windowlicker and Shinya over here trying to make things happen, and now BBTY gets caught out of position once more, has to pop that subjugate to keep himself alive, and he's actually putting some good amount of damage, but with the combined efforts of Oreo and Zonda, that's not gonna have the counter kill. So Taipei Snipers with that 1 minute of action over there, bringing everything back into their favor. So ISG is now only having those advantages because of the Dragons. 1.5k goal lead for ISG. Taipei Snipers are closing the game back into this one.
So ISG being a little careless down there, miscalculating a little bit with regards as to how much they could overextend their aggression in terms of Vera and Crazy Pineapple's positioning, and because of that, Taipei Snipers, they showed why they showed why they're the experienced team. They showed why they made the finals last year. They made better calculations, went in and picked up kills in the advantage for themselves.
Right, precisely. It's just like you said. It is the experience for Taipei Snipers that are carrying them throughout this game here. And I have to say, you know, ISG, they have been making very good decisions so far, but they need to be careful because I think one of their oversight is that they sometimes tend to be a little careless. That's why in the game on Wednesday against IPT, they did not manage to close out the game as quickly as they wanted to because of this oversight. And if they make those mistakes back into this game, I would say that Taipei Snipers, they have very good chance of coming back into this one, as you know the goal lead starts to close out a lot more. And now Wins might be called out of position over there, but the ward that he plays out is going to spot out Vera and Crazy Pineapple. They will have to choose to back off from that one. Zonda is right around the corner, and with 4 members now moving in, they might collapse in onto ISG over here, but instead they choose to take the turret and, you know, show face over there. And actually, there we go with the action over here. Windowlicker getting caught out of position once more. The assassination from Wins with the claws will be able to pick up the kill, and now BBTY finds himself in a world of trouble. Double kill will go down for Wins over there. Taipei Snipers once again, buffet lines open. They will take away the kills and the blue buff.
And buffet line is open as they pick up the blue buff as well. So now the question is, what are they going to go for next? But in fact, they actually return to lane as they look to put some pressure onto the turret.
That's right, and with Dragon coming up live as well, and with Taipei Snipers having a huge map presence advantage, we might see them actually move down to actually make it happen. And it does look like Taipei Snipers this time around, they want to be applying the pressure onto the second lane, second tier volume turret, and we might see them be able to take it with 4 men down over here. But the remaining members of ISG has respawned already, so it does look like Taipei Snipers will be contented. They will choose to come down into the bottom, to the Dragon Pit to make it happen. So will we see a possible steal over here? It looks like that's not going to be the case. It does look like we will see Taipei Snipers jump back into action over here. ISG taking a whole lot of damage over there, and Aoi actually taking a whole lot of damage as well. Wins will pick up the kill onto the other members of ISG as well. He's just leaping in and out of the action. Triple kill for him. That's a great way to start things off, and it's gonna be an ace. Aoi is the only member to go down over there, and it does look like everything just went disastrous for ISG ever since that few kills that Taipei Snipers were able to pick up for themselves.
So Taipei Snipers is showing championship caliber in that engagement now that they go over and they are now moving over to the Baron. So this is the buffet lines we were talking about. We picked up lots of kills, we get an advantage as we go into replay down here. So the boxes drop as Aoi goes in straight away, locking up the very prime targets. Window Liquor and Crazy Pineapple clustered together, and now they're in lots of trouble. Both of them busted extremely low. Now Wins comes in, jumps in, picks up one kill from himself, picking up Window Liquor as he gets the reset onto his skill sets. Now he jumps on the second one, Vera, that's 2, and now Crazy Pineapple drops extremely low. Now 3 kills for Kazakhs as BBTY is simply clean up the field.
Precisely, and this was what we were talking about earlier. There's cleanup potential for this Wins on that Kazakhs, and I actually was just primed in the position for him to do all those assassination potential, those assassination duties as well. And in the meantime, while you know the replay was going on, we saw Taipei Snipers finally picking up that Baron for themselves. So they will now pull the goal lead. And in the past 2 minutes, Taipei Snipers has just been making every decision correct for themselves, turning to 7 in terms of kill count and having the Baron buff as well, and having that 5k advantage. So it looks like Taipei Snipers, they want to go back, capture some of that money, get some of the item thresholds, and then possibly group up again. And I have to say, it is at a point where it is very good for them to force those engages, because Oriolo is level 15. He will be hitting that level 16, that third level of the ultimate, the explosive class really soon. And you know, we have seen Wins now 6-0 and 5. He has so much armor penetration in his arsenal right now. Brutalizer being completed, Last Whisper as well. So if Taipei Snipers force a good fight, it's gonna be their fight to take, because actually they might not have the necessary answers to that as well, but they have to play it carefully, because ISG, if they catch anyone out of that position, then they will still have some good firepower on their own end to respond to TPS.
Well, speaking of items, if you actually look at the items from both sides, both teams, their champions have all hit their core items already, and the item thresholds means that any fight at this point in time is going to be really explosive, and we can see lots of kills go either way. We saw it just now with the fight with Dragon, and now as ISG continues to back off from the turret, AZUBU Taipei Snipers, they are not easing up the pressure.
Right, we almost saw Window Liquor getting caught out of position once again, but was able to pick up the lantern to go into safety over here. But Taipei Snipers, they are just not going to stop from there, having that Baron buff themselves. Mega in front of the bomb comes down, but with that Baron buff regen, Taipei Snipers, they just don't care. And they are going to pick up that bottom lane turret, and does look like the Solar Flare is going to initiate onto them, and Crazy Pineapple will back off using Dark Passage. Zonda pops the Dominus, but he doesn't find anyone to kill.
So once again, picking up turrets left and right, the buffet lines are open as Taipei Snipers come in and they pick up objectives everywhere on the map. In a matter of 5 minutes or so, they picked up 4 turrets, a Baron and a Dragon.
Yeah, that's the thing about Taipei Snipers over here. You cannot offer them any sorts of opportunity at all, because they will just take it all, and it's going to be very difficult for you to climb back after that. And BBTY just takes a whole lot of damage from Oriel over there, and Wins jumps into the fray, and it looks like Oriel will eventually be the one to secure the kill over there, but that's the danger over there. You cannot just afford to go alone with all this possible single target damage coming in from Taipei Snipers over there. As they take out the top lane turret, that is going to be the 6th turret for them in this game. Dragon's going to come up soon, but Taipei Snipers, they have their sights set on something else as they siege up the top lane turret.
So knowing that BBTY is down, Taipei Snipers are using the man advantage. Who comes in from Vera?
And a good death sentence is going to lock him down to place, but will they have the damage to finish them off? Does look like that's not going to be the case. Wins is now godlike as his finishes off Window Liquor over here. No one has gone down yet on the side of TPS. They still have that Baron buff, just regenerating them back up. They will take the top lane turret. It does look like Oriel wants to go in for some more. He will be stopped by the Pillar of Ice, but he is in a zone where TPS is going to be able to respond to that, so they will choose not to fight just yet. Taipei Snipers turning on the gear. They have taken out the top lane turret, and ISG now, they have to respond to that. And I have no idea what they have to do to try to come back to this one. They are down by 10,000 girl.
I think ISG must be feeling terrible about themselves right now. They played it so smart at the start, counting their opponents, was communicating well, and with those cheeky little dragons at the start, I was so impressed at first. But however, Taipei Snipers, they said that we were the finalists last season. Don't just count us out yet. They came in at the moment you give Taipei Snipers any form of momentum, they're just going to take it and roll all over you with it, and that's what we see down here. 15 kills to 7 and a 10,000 goal lead for Taipei Snipers.
Precisely. I think it was also because of the fact that it was at a point where ISG was it's kind of playing in the composition's favor as well, because for Taipei Snipers, their early game might not be the best, and ISG was precisely using that to their advantage. And now Taipei Snipers, ever since they hit the 11th level mark, they start to turn things around, making sure that they have all the items and all the abilities they need to really just turn things around for them. And that was why, everything just went disastrous for ISG over here.
So ISG actually choosing to play a very finesse game in this kind of situation where they wanted to count and see where the opponents were. However, Taipei Snipers going for a much more brute force style, identifying the fact that the Kha'Zix and Kragans had hit a power spike in terms of items, started to pick fights, and because of that, they swung the momentum very rapidly in the favor the moment they got any lead on top of ISG.
Right, and I have to say Taipei Snipers playing this really well. And you know, we failed to mention that at the start as well, which is they are one of the most seasoned teams across the scene here. Not necessarily in the GPL, but just as a team alone. So in a sense, they were able to have the right answers to this aggressive early game plays that ISG was able to put up on them. So ISG now forced to play in the backlines as now Vera takes a whole lot of damage just from the explosive cast itself. He will be forced back into this one. So Taipei Snipers, they don't have any Baron buff at all. But look at God JJ, he just doesn't care. He will be throwing those packed boomerangs down onto the bottom lane inhibitor turrets.
So once again, the buffet lines have given the Taipei Snipers the 10,000 gold lead, and now Taipei Snipers are knocking on ISG's door.
Right, this fast push coming in from Taipei Snipers, and this momentum gained by them as well is gonna make a whole lot of difference. And here's the question: Taipei Snipers, Baron is coming up in 15 seconds. Will they choose to go for that, or they could just possibly continue the siege up in this mid lane turret? And Crazy Pineapple takes a whole lot of damage from those barrels itself. So let's see if that's gonna be the area of focus for Taipei Snipers, because the top lane super minions are roaming into ISG's base over here, and they will have to eventually answer to that. And Crazy Pineapple again, once again, taking a whole lot of damage. He is down on health now. He will have to back off from here. And Shinya now doing his best to chuck those bombs down, but he gets caught by the solar flare, gets blasted right back into the face of TPS over there. He will go down to Zonda over there with the Dominus being popped. And now he's taking a whole lot of damage. Crazy Pineapple will actually pick up the kill. And Oriel now dodging out the box with the flash, wins at the back line, will pick up one more kill for himself, but they will trade 2 for 2. And at this point of time, I would say it's a very good trade for ISG, given that the fact that they were pretty much behind by 10,000 goals. So that would just buy them some space at this point of time.
So ISG buy themselves some breathing space with that kill. That should buy them some time for the inhibitor to come up. As now Baron has come up, as Baron is now live, and that actually prevents them from putting themselves from being put into the catch-22 situation. As to, do we defend top lane, or do we try and stop them from doing Baron?
Right, I expect Baron to be the next area of contest over here, but ISG, they are still down on items, down on levels as well. Not too sure if they will be able to find the steal that they will need to, or even the team fight that they will want to force onto TPS at this point of time. And you know, you have to remember, Wince is going to be playing on that Kha'Zix. That isolation damage is very crucial when it comes to single objectives like this.
Definitely, but let's not forget that most of the damage on the side of Taipei Snipers is coming up from Wince. He's 8-0 and 7. He's got Black Cleaver, Last Whisperer, Spirit of the Ancient Lizard, and a Hex Drinker to top it all. So that means that there's going to be a lot of damage coming up from Wince if ISG can identify this, and if they can catch Wince. Hang on, 5 breaks out.
Well, does look like ISG is just going to be called out before I could even have any word on that, and that is the assassination potential coming in from Taipei Snipers over there. Looks like they wanted to just use that Baron as a bait over there. They will pick up 2 members of ISG over there, and they should be able to take out this Baron with relative ease.
I mean, I was saying that they needed to catch Wince up, but Wince instead caught him out instead, and you saw what happened. Even before I could say 5 breaks out, the fight ended.
Yep, it just ended as quickly as it started. So Taipei Snipers, once again, they will have the Baron buff at the advantage over here. And let's see if ISG will be able to do a little defensive maneuver to keep the base safe over here. But with all this resources on the side of TPS over here, it does look like a pretty grim situation over here. BBTY will try to make some damage with the Wince over here, but the Baron buff will reject him back up. And it's just going to be an endless siege for Taipei Snipers just at this point of time. As the mid lane turret goes down to God JJ as well. The silver boomerangs are just chucking in. and the inhibitor goes down as well. That's going to be the one more inhibitor going down to him. Window Liquor has to use that intervention to negate the damage coming in from Taipei Snipers over there, but that's not their primary concern as they take out one more inhibitor in the top lane as well. So 2 inhibitors down for iSG. It's going to be a slow but painful there for iSG just at this point of time. iSG, they need to make something happen right here, right now, but I'm not sure if they have the firepower to do so.
Actually, I think at this point of time, as iSG is basically a death animation as we see a fight breaking out.
Oh, Vera now trying to go aggressive onto Awe over here, and Wins jumping into the frame over here, and actually Shinya turns things around. He will get the first kill down onto Awe here, so the iSG members get dropped very low, but they aren't going down just yet. They want to show their fighting spirits and their resilience. They want to show that they still have the fight within them. They will force Taipei Snipers momentarily back, and that pillar of ice is just going to stop Oriel for a good period of time, and Vera will catch everyone back in with the death sentence. Wins will pick up the kill onto Window Liquor just as of this point of time, but it looks like iSG is not going to be able to pick up the rest of the members at this point of time. 2 members go down. You know, it was almost a very good fight for them, but the overall damage coming down from Wiz is just too much for them to handle.
Too much at this point. He is legendary 9-0 and 10 on the Kazakhs. Not to mention that he is already level 16 and has gotten his 3rd point of evolution, which means that he will have wings to evolve. He should have evolved his wings, he should have evolved his claws, and perhaps the last one into probably the void spikes.
Spreading the wings of love for Wins on this Valentine's Day special for the GPL. He's like, well, he might just be a misunderstood guy. He just wanted to fly in and give iSG a hug over there, but instead he ends up killing them.
Yeah, it's kind of the hug of death. He is the void monster after all. With those void claws, if you hug someone, do they like get sliced up or do they get teleported into the void?
I always wondered the question, what if you like hug Kazakh so his claws are just gonna cut you up? Well, I guess that's the situation, so let's not get too friendly with the Kazakhs over there.
He's the void monster after all.
Yeah, he has a lot of damage as well and a lot of items up his arsenal. So Taipei Snipers still has that burn buff in the arsenal. It's gonna run out relatively quickly, but they have all this firepower up to their own, and they should be able to take down the bottom lane turret very quickly.
So Shinya is kind of the point man now on the side of iSG. If he goes down, basically the game just ends for iSG. As if without Ziggs, they lose all their wave carrying power and they will not be able to hold on the game for any longer.
Right, and Zonda actually taking a whole chunk of damage from iSG over there, and the explosive cast is going to come down for Oriel over there, but it's not going to take anyone just of yet. Vera trying his best to zone everyone in, and Winslow actually gets pushed forward with the satchel charge. That's the double kill down for him. Does look like Taipei Snipers will close out the game. First Nexus turret goes down, followed by the second. The Nexus is definitely going to fall for iSG Gaming over here. Taipei Snipers pick up the first victory for the spring split into